What's up, Ozarks? It's Chris Pinson here inside the Digital Desk Studios. And once again, we are talking about Bear Nation and the football program. Because here in just a few days, it is time for the Xbox Bowl. It is time for the biggest bowl game in the history of Missouri State football. However, we are just a few days removed from having Ryan Beard remove himself as the head coach of the program and leave for greener pastures in coastal Carolina. He's now the head coach of the Santa Clares. So with that said, we finally got a word back, an actual one-on-one interview, really, with the athletic director of Missouri State, Patrick Ransdell. He sat down with the media yesterday following the Lady Bears' loss to Arkansas, and he finally got a chance to give his thoughts on the matter, have us ask questions, answer our questions, and he did the best he could, and he didn't dodge anything. He never tried to really squash anything or keep anything off limits. He was very open, pretty honest with us, transparent about things. So let's hear from Patrick Ransdell about what the timeline is going forward, or if there is a timeline, on when Missouri State expects to hire the replacement for Ryan Beard and a brand new head coach for this team.
I'm not going to put a timeline on it per se, but the portal does open up in January, and we need to be ready to go so that we can make sure that we give ourselves the best chance at being successful. In terms of the number of candidates, we'll talk as many as we need to.
So there's not an ideal timeline per se set in stone on his clock. However, as he mentioned, with the transfer portal coming up here at the beginning of January to start off the year in 2026, that really is the motivation to get somebody in here ASAP and put them in place, get them and their recruits on board, and try to be able to piece together some kind of positive recruiting class, since, of course, the one that just committed a few weeks ago, they're probably looking around going, yeah, Coach Beard's not there anymore, so I don't know if I want to go play there. Okay, that's the key. You got to get a new guy in, get his system, get his players, get his coaches in, and try to take off as fast as you can and keep momentum going from all the positivity that we've seen so far this season and last. Of course, there's a guy that's going to coach the Bears in the Xbox Bowl on Thursday. That would be Nick Petrino, the offensive coordinator for this team. He has been the man at the OC position since he arrived on campus with his father, Bobby Petrino. So since you've been here 6 years, you know the system, you know everybody in it, they know you. Clearly, he can flat out coach the offense because he's helped Jacob Clark and predecessors succeed, win games, win seasons, make playoff berths, make bowl games. So what about Nick Petrino? Is he a man that might be in the running for this position?
We'll certainly have a conversation at the appropriate time, but right now I want to make sure that he's fully focused on being able to be the head coach for this ball game, and then we'll go from there.
So there you go. Ransdell, non-committal on that, but I think that is because he wants Nick to truly force all of his focus, all of his motivation, all of his attention to this bowl game. This is the biggest football game in Missouri State history. Make no doubt about it. This is the first time you're ever in an FBS level bowl in your first year at the FBS level. You've got to be able to take advantage of this moment, because for Petrino, if he does want a chance to coach as the head man for Missouri State, I think a nice resume builder would include winning the only game you've ever gotten to coach here at this level. So that right there is maybe a little subtle tongue-in-cheek thing for Nick Petrino. Like, hey, man, I can't say whether or not you're going to be a heavy favorite, but I can tell you if you win this game, that might look pretty good too in our conversation. We asked Ransdell, have you spoken to the players? Do you have a pulse on them? Is everybody fired up, or are they dejected? Do they want to leave? What's the deal? So here's what Ransdell had to say about talking to the players after the news broke about Beard.
We talked about just the ability for us to kind of move forward and put our best foot forward on Thursday night. There's a unique opportunity on Thursday night, being kind of on national television. Really, there's only one streaming NFL game on that night. And so you kind of have the stage to yourself. What a great opportunity for Missouri State. What a great opportunity for those players. It's all about going out there and just executing and making sure we put ourselves in the best position to win.
Okay, so you've talked to the players, right? You believe that they're on board. You believe that they are buying into the fact that this is, in fact, the biggest game that this university will ever get to play in so far in its football history. You believe that this is a way to motivate them to say, hey, guys, look, sure, things are different in a sense, but everything else around you is the same. Most of the guys you play with all season, they're mostly still in this room. They're going to be there on Thursday. They're suiting up. They're putting the pads on. They are trying to become winners. We need all of you to buy into being winners, showing the country what we got on a national stage, having everybody tune in on ESPN to watch and see this bowl game against Arkansas State. That's a good message, right? That's a good way to go about spinning this in a positive direction. So kudos to Patrick Ransdale for making sure he did that and he was able to hopefully, right, get some kind of pulse on this team. Now, I did ask him, hey, this is not a new occurrence for Missouri State. You look at different coaches from different programs here that have been successful. What do? They build their resume here, they build up a winner, and then they leave. So do you think that newer facilities, better facilities, upgraded facilities will in fact help keep coaches here for the football program once they are finally done in the future?
It's going to take us time to get everything that we want in place for this football program. That does not happen overnight. We've raised $5.5 million now over the last month and a half toward phase one of our football renovations.
He said they've raised roughly $5 million in the last month and a half. Overall, they've put in $11 million into the football program in the last year. That to me tells me if I'm a head coach, the sun is breaking the horizon, right? It's going like this. The sun is coming up on Missouri State football, okay? Before Bobby Petrino got here, the sun was setting on that program. The sun was definitely going down on it in a really bad direction. Now, Ransdale just told you, with facilities they're working on, upgrades they're working on, the money they're getting poured in, everything about this situation says, if you're a head coach that comes in here, sure, maybe things aren't A1 stellar, top of the line just yet, but they are in that direction. They're going that way. So really, if you're going to get a head coach to come be here and he wants to try to be the guy to build this program up and see it flourish, this is the time to do it. This is not just the time to be somebody who says, yeah, I'll go there for a couple years then dip. You can, but now that Missouri State is at the FBS level, money from donors is coming in. Facility upgrades are getting pushed through and passing on. The money that you're going to get paid to coach is going to be comparable to others around you. So I feel like Missouri State is finally in a place where very soon it will be able to say, we have what everybody else has. Sure, the coffers aren't as big, the wallet's not as big, but for being a smaller school that's always kind of been in the shadows of big Mizzou up in Columbia, we kind of have our own footing now. We can sit at the big boys table. We're not the elites of USC and Bama and Georgia or even Mizzou, but we are growing, and big things have small beginnings, okay? Let's talk about the potential candidates, right? That is a key thing. What kind of people is Patrick Ransdale looking for? Who is he looking for? What kind of coaches with what resumes are in the mix to possibly be the next head coach for Missouri State?
I'm extremely happy with the way the last 24 to 48 hours has gone. I think we're going to be putting ourselves in a really, really good position. We've had interest from sitting head coaches to Power 4 assistants to Group of 5 coaches, FCS coaches, Division II coaches, all of them highly successful. So I'm just excited that we're going to be able to put our best foot forward and make sure that that Missouri State football will continue its success.
If you're a Bears fan, that has to excite you in some way. That has to kind of take the sting out of Ryan Beard leaving. Because what he just listed was a group of people that have experience across the board. Sitting head coaches, some G4 assistants, G5 guys. I mean, look, nobody knows exactly who right now is in the mix for this job. It's in its early infancy, but it is picking up steam. And the fact that you have people at various levels across the board who hopefully are in fact proven winners that are interested for this position says a lot about where this program is. It's not just some let's go there, right? Let's try to make a winner out of them. No, the expectation is when you come here, you're expected to win. That's what every job is originally. But let's be honest, some jobs have the expectation and understanding that winning is what matters. And some jobs just say, hey, we hope you come here and we hope you win. There's a difference in the expectation of this program now than what it was before Bobby Petrino and Ryan Beard came. So the fact you can draw candidates with a winning attitude, a winning motivation, a winning philosophy, a winning track record, that's a big step up for Missouri State. A big step up, as it should be. All right, and lastly, I asked Patrick Ransdell, Patrick, for years and years, this has been the case where coaches come in, they succeed here, and they move on to greener pastures. So if I had told you before the season that you would have a successful campaign, but you would lose your head coach, would you take that bet?
Take it in a heartbeat. I mean, that's what we do, right? We try to go win. If I said anything else, I would hope people would question why I'm here. If I said no, I'd rather go 4-7, and that's crazy talk. We want to go out and win every game. If we have to go out and win 10 games a year and lose our coach every year, then we'll go hire the next guy, right? I mean, that's just the way this industry is, and it's the way it goes. And I'd rather win and have to go through this than not win and have to go through that.
In a heartbeat, right? No doubt about it. You would take that every single day. As he rightfully said, if I wasn't worried about us winning every year and being great, people should rightfully question me sitting in the chair of the athletic director, because that's what you're supposed to do. You are the governor, the overseer of all the sports under your domain, and you want them all to win, because winning is fun. Winning gets buy-in, and winning gets support. And that's what you need to be successful at every single step along the way in every single sport. Sure, it does stink that for many, many years, this school and the kind of second chair violin that it's been, right? Missouri State's not a first chair violin like a Bama, Georgia, USC, Florida, Mizzou. But the fact that it's been what it's been for so long, and this program has been mired in mediocrity and losing for a long time as well, the fact that we're now here, where there is interest of a coach or several that want to come coach here, that there's interest from not just bottom of the barrel people, but real people who believe they can come in and keep the standard of excellence going, the success train right on down the track. That says a lot about where this program is. It says a lot that Patrick Ransdell wouldn't mind if a coach left every year because we would keep winning. Winning is the key. Winning is what you're paid for. Winning is what you sign up for. And look, we all know there is no perfect process to getting the perfect hire. Look at the Florida Gators. I've used them as an example before because that's the perfect example. The Florida Gators have been through 5 head coaches in 15 years. And they're the 3-time national champion Florida Gators who have, 2 of their 3 titles in this century. It's not a perfect process. It will be hard. But hopefully, as the process plays out and things emerge, they're going to get the right guy. They're going to get the guy that's able to come in here and make an immediate impact and keep everything, all the momentum that we've had, going without any speed bumps or turbulence. However, I will say this, and this is very important. A lot of coaches are very good with X's and O's, but some are not great with personal relationships. That's just coaches, right? Some coaches see us as the media as like a pariah, right? A poking, prodding, intruding person or thing that wants to disturb things, wants to figure out secrets or figure out information that isn't always in the best interest of the football team or another program to get out, right? That's what we do. We find out the good and the bad. But to me, it's very important that this next hire is somebody who not only is great with the X's and O's, who's great at leading young men, but who is also a good PR person. Ryan Beard was, in fact, a great personal relations person for Missouri State. He spoke with conviction. He spoke with passion. He spoke with emotion. His players adored him because of the way he could fire you up and make you want to run through a brick wall for him, not to get away from him. And he was one of the best I've seen at going out in the community, shaking hands, kissing babies, and creating those relationships with key boosters and donors who help fund your program. Ryan Beard has left big shoes in this program. Big shoes. But they make a lot of other great people too. So hopefully this process will be quick, it will be efficient, and we will find out who the next head coach of the Missouri State football program is very soon. And I would guarantee you somewhere between Christmas and New Year's Eve is probably the realistic timeline. But don't worry, you keep it right here. We'll have much more on the updates along the way, plus a whole lot coming up from this week's bowl game down in Frisco, Texas. I'll talk to you next time.